times. Go. Yes. Oh no, you got me all night tonight. You guys requested, yeah. But I was gonna show you. Yes, that's right. I got big Kansas energy tonight. I wanted to show you the Paul Harris car tonight, but apparently he's parked it for right now, so we'll get it a little later. So remind me of that. He does not. No, Trey has the autism car, and we will definitely show the autism car, as I'm a big supporter of autism awareness as well. No, not really. That's fine. Oh, very interesting. Well, let's see. We did let me see here. We're supposed to be heard. Yeah, you're still not there.
I'll keep listening
there we go.
To the stream.
Okay, so that was really weird. You should be in there now, and so most people have no idea what all we've said, but that's okay. We'll recap all of it eventually here.
Okay.
Oh, basically in awe of the TISM 150 laps at Kansas. Yeah, retrace our steps pretty much. It's going to go by quickly tonight, I think. So we'll be in for a good one, though, here on circuit tonight, definitely. Although, coming into this race, Ewan, how are you feeling? I mean, how do you think this race could possibly go for these drivers tonight? And what do you picture happening? Do you picture it being chaotic, maybe some incidents happening, or do you think maybe we're going to have a nice clean run for the majority of the piece?
Yeah, I think there'll be plenty of incidents. I think it would be an outlandish prediction to say that it's going to be a clean race with minimal cautions based on the couple of races we've already had this season. You've got to look back to all of the ones that we've already had: Daytona, Nashville, and Charlotte. It's all been the same. Relatively high on the caution count, so I'd expect it to be the same here from Kansas. The thing, though, that maybe is going to go against that is the 55-lap run to home and the 45-lap run to the first stage as well. That's relatively long. So generally what's been happening, I think, is that cautions have been coming out, and then stages have been set up in a way that the stage or the end of the race or whatever it is so close to the actual point at the restart that everybody just goes crazy, and that doesn't help. I think this time, with those spaced out quite nicely, it's possible that tonight will be different. But I think it would be pretty bold to say that this is going to be a caution-free race, or indeed less caution.
I'm not going to claim that at all. That it's going to be caution-free. I think that the fact that we are averaging roughly a caution every 9 laps, hopefully it is a little bit tidier this week. Maybe if we can average one every 10 laps, so we get a bit more green running, possibly, Ewan. I don't know, but I think it'll be interesting in how these cars and how these drivers handle it. But we know from how it's been this season, which I've been loving it. I think it's been fantastic in how tenacious these drivers are. But I do think they need to clean their act up just a little bit to try and extend those average cautions per lap. Jim, as our kind of quote unquote local reporter for ovals, etc. And for, obviously Xfinities as well. Is there anything about this track that drivers may need to be aware of, especially as the tyres get, a bit more worn throughout the session, and as we get, well into this race? Is there any little niggling things they need to be careful of, whether it's a bump off 4 or something they've got to be careful of?
Well, I think it's actually kind of the opposite of that. This track has a lot of characteristics like Nashville had, which means that it's capable of some good wide racing, multiple grooves once the tires get worn just a little bit. And that was the best race we had all season as far as incidents. We had some decent green flag runs at Nashville. It was certainly well improved over the week before at Daytona. I think that we're liable to see that again tonight. And I think that'll be the reason why, because as the tires wear slightly, the track kind of widens out, and you can run the high groove or a lower groove, so they won't be necessarily right up on top of each other, which is kind of what happened again at Nashville. And like I said, that was our best one so far, so I'm hopeful.
Unfortunately, Hamish, very disappointed that Jack Anderson's not here today for this.
He's not.
Round of the championship.
Unfortunately, he's missed it tonight. So hopefully we see him back next week for the Red Bull Ring, for the road course race, because honestly, I feel that he could be a very strong chance at a win next week, actually, at the road course. He is pretty good, not only in a NASCAR at a road course, but just at a road course in general. So I think he'll be definitely one to watch next week when we're out at the Red Bull Ring. But not here this week, unfortunately. To be fair, he did race at Langley on Friday, where we had 22 cautions across 200 laps. So he may just be trying to have a little break from oval this weekend after that event.
I just saw your comment in the chat. The 20 car is here. He should be. He should.
Oh no,
be.
He is. Yes, no, he is. He is.
And
he is.
the 9 car is actually on vacation for 2 weeks.
Okay.
He's gone on a cruise or something like that, and he's going to be away for a couple of weeks. So, and then we have a couple of weeks off, so we won't see him for like a month, I guess.
Okay, well then disregard my comment that I've now deleted and definitely never put into the chat. The 20 is here in Trey Graber. But he's probably the one driver we would hope would be here because he is the admin. So
yes, well, there's several admins, and they've got a driver council. They've got all of that. But he is running the autism awareness car tonight. So for that reason alone, I'm glad he's here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll show him, of course, throughout the night, as we will with everybody, as we do in these races. But that's the end of warm-up. time to have a look at the starting grid ready for the Autism Awareness 150 tonight. Logan Gill on the pole, 0.04 of a second ahead of Daniel Wing, with Charles Rinker and Paul Harris then on row 2. Bailey Brannan, the current points leader, with quite a gap actually of 26. He's 5th to start with, ahead of Mike Rinker, who got to the end last week by limping home many laps down. Quinton Morrow and Chris Honer on row 4, ahead of Tyler Miller and Cody Pruitt, rounding out the top 10. Levi Murdoch and Nick Donati are then on row 6. Then 13th place is Loden Urquhart with Caleb Ross. Robert Stevens and John Roberts are on row 8, ahead of William Hawke and Trey Martin. Trey Greiber is next in 19th. Brody Fisher rounds out the top 20. Jamie Violette next, ahead of Shane Johnson. B. Strong and Bill Dickey the second, rounding out top 20. Joe Dyson, the last driver to set a time. Zach Smathers, Devon Trusty at the back end of the field. Based on my timing, that's missing a couple as well, who are a bit further down. But anyway, it will be going weird now because they're all starting to roll off of pit lane. But we will not be far away from the start of this race. They'll come around the turns 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, and we'll be underway pretty quickly here, Jim. 26 cars have rolled away. It doesn't look like Devon Trusty actually one of those. He seems to be, if he's starting, he'll be starting laps down, unfortunately, because he's not in the server at the moment. We'll see what this race is going to be like compared to the others, where we can have some longer green flag runs maybe tonight.
I think we will.
For it, won't we, Jim?
Yeah, I think we're going to see some better green flag runs tonight. I think smaller field will also help with that as well.
Yeah,
I do. I do as well. I agree. I think because there's only so many cars that can then have a caution, it will definitely limit us, and there's obviously only so many laps they can do it as well.
Yeah. Well, let's find out as the drivers now make their way around turns 3 and 4, NASCAR turns 3 and 4. They will bring themselves to the start-finish line, ready for the beginning of the Autism Awareness 150 here from Kansas Speedway. Round 4 of the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship underway. Lead already for Logan Gill, but a caution already as well after only one lap. Daniel Wing losing positions, not sure if he was actually the cause of the caution or not, but just one lap of racing before the first yellow flag of the night.
Did we call it too early that we asked, could they keep it clean, please? Or they maybe just getting it out of their system, possibly.
Let's hope so, because that's a very, very short opening run. There's Wing in the background. I think he just had a loss of momentum there, but that's when the caution flew anyway. Logan Gill over the start-finish line in the lead. Don't see anybody off the circuit or anything, so don't know what's happened there. But this caution is not going to provide any tactical opportunities, I don't think. The fuel window is between 29 and 32 laps on this circuit, and that means you're never going to make it, even if there are loads of cautions, then maybe you'll make it, but you're never going to make it even if you stop from now to the end of the stage. Probably not anyway. So I would imagine most of the drivers will be staying out, and they do, as they work their way past pit lane for the first time in this first caution of the race.
I wonder if maybe the iRacing system just preemptively called the caution there, expecting it to be an incident, because they got real loose up through the tri-oval.
It could have read that as somebody wrecking. Yeah, that's possible. The way he shot across the track like that, but then it looked like he saved it. But I got no incident report that it happened.
Yeah, it seems a bit preemptive. I have noticed as well, both Nick Donati and Logan Gill are running the same livery tonight of that discount car. Now, there's two trains of thoughts. A, are they now teammates? Or B, has it just been a mistake of they've both selected the same livery from trading paints, and they've rocked up tonight, and they're like, well, one of us has to change.
Well, Discount Tire's a popular American company for sure, and so it could be that they just picked that livery. Speaking of liveries, where is Paul Harris at?
Paul.
There he is. I got him right there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a zoom in on him at all here. No, that's not going to work. I'm gonna have to cheat. I hate doing this camera, but
well, he's that baby oil on the front of his car.
that is. And
That's not what she said.
You remember that line? Do you?
I do not. I'll be honest with you.
That was what
I say a lot of things, Jim.
No, I said it. That was what I said at the end of the FTR race, I believe, or one of them. I don't know. No, the 204 race, and I said that's what she said about your partner, and you said what'd you say? Something like I don't know, but anyway, that's what the livery's from. It's 2 weeks now. If it was only a week, it would have been funnier. But
to be fair, 2 weeks ago I had COVID, so my brain's probably a bit fried.
Yeah, actually, so did I. So from that matter, all right, we're back green, I guess.
Either way, here we go again. Back green into the Hawkers Automotive restart zone. Thanks to them for the restart zone sponsorship here this season, or the remainder of this season rather. Hopefully this is now going to get us into a long green flag run of racing, but let's wait and see on that. No drivers came into pit lane, by the way, during that first caution of the day. Unsurprising as well, as Logan Gill is put really under pressure by Bailey Brannan, who just turns underneath him off of 4, and he's already alongside by the end of the first proper racing lap.
Yeah, Daniel Wings in pit lane as well. He had some minor damage on the rear of that Cat car. So I'd say maybe that's why the yellow was thrown. He caught a little bit of damage when he ended up off track a bit earlier on. So I'd say that's probably the answer to our yellow flag question. We've also had confirmation that Logan Gill and Nick Donati are now teammates. So that is why they're both running the Discount Tires livery.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a decent livery, but I'd rather there weren't two of them. That's going to make tell apart.
I'm always under the belief that maybe we have their teammates. They have the same layout of livery and just maybe flip the colours. That way we can.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that would be good. But sadly, they've not helped us out there, and they've not done it. There's the 3 car, which we're not going to be missing. Mike Rinker, who didn't actually start on the lead lap in last race. Big crash just in front here. No idea what happened there. It was out of shot as we were following Chris Hone, who's now worked into the top 20. But there was body work, there were cars, and there's a big slide at the very beginning of this. Another snap and a hard hit into the wall for Caleb Ross in the 27 car.
Yep,
that's massive damage on that car, Jim.
Yeah, he's going to need
massive.
He's going to be using his fast repair quite early tonight.
Yeah, and the issue now for him is he's going to be without that fast repair going throughout the rest of this race, and it's a very early spot in time to have to use that. He's going to be on ice now for the rest of this race. He's going to have to hope that he can keep clean and stay out of the wall. One more shunt like that could be race over for him. And he might be packing it up early if he's not careful. So he's going to have to drive incredibly carefully. Now, also, Devon Trusty has not rejoined the server, so the 8 car is out of this race. We'll see. We'll see how we go now throughout the rest of this period. But we looked pretty good there for a couple of laps. But unfortunately, they just got kind of overlapped with each other and went into the wall.
It was Tyler Miller who got loose initially in the 18 car, and he's down pit lane now as well. Did scrape along the wall. I wonder whether he's going to repair the damage normally, or whether he'll take his fast repair. I would have been tempted to come in there, if I'm honest, if I'm further down the field, because we're going to be going back to green after 10. That'll be 35 to go until the stage. And there is a maximum 32 lap fuel window here, so a caution or two and you can stay out for the rest of the stage and maybe get those points, although obviously guys coming in a bit later will have a lot fresher tyres if they decide to come in. But yeah, only 4 drivers in that time round. Tyler Miller and John Roberts with more conventional length pit stops. A little bit longer for Trey Grabber, but not too bad. Caleb Ross is in, you'd imagine, as you say, taking his fast repair, and they're all back out onto the circuit, as is Daniel Wing, by the way, who is now back on the lead lap. We've got everybody back on the lead lap again.
Also, the Rinker brothers are doing well up in the top 10 together. They're currently running P3 and P4. Charles is down 1 at the moment. Mike is up 3, so he's getting 1 over on his brother at this stage.
Well, wasn't it one of the Rinker brothers that got into some bad deal last week? Was like 20 laps down and ended up wrecking a car that was on the lead lap or something?
Yep, they did. They did, indeed. I think they'll be hoping to forget last week, if I'm honest with you, Jim.
Probably
Charlotte will be on the no-fly list for those boys, I think. But Kansas, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, they are so far. It's early days, of course, but at least Mike is actually starting on the lead lap this time. As I mentioned, he in a similar way to what Devon Trusty's having at the moment. He didn't actually start this race at all, Devon Trusty, so must have had some issue before the green flag. It's exactly what Mike had last week, and ended up rejoining the race. At the end of the race, he was about 20 laps down, as you say. And yeah, difficult situation to be in, but he did crash into somebody, unfortunately, while he was out there. There is the back of the field. A couple of damaged cars back there. There is Trey Grabber.
Well, I don't think he's damaged, though. I think he took your advice and pitted.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was involved in anything. I think he pitted. Like you said, you thought was a decent strategy if you're a little further back. I think that's what he did.
I think 19-second pit stop is the only thing I frowned at a little bit, because that's a little bit on the long side. But either way, we'll figure that out later as the guys get into the restart zone again. 90 to go and 35 to the stage as we complete 10 laps here at Kansas. Another restart, this time for Bailey Brannan in the 6 car, who's got the lead, and he takes it out of the second restart of the day ahead of Logan Gill.
We are getting into scramble territory for the mid-pack at the moment. As these front runners are getting into their sort of single line astern, or even try and get into a double file, the rest of the field behind them were all about 3 or 4 wide in towards turn 1. I was biting me nails then, if I'm honest with you, in the proverbial term of worrying that we may see a yellow thrown soon, but they've managed to keep themselves nice and clean for this moment, as Joe Dyson has... Sorry, he's blinking in and out. That's a bad time for a cough to come. Joe Dyson is having massive blinking issues. He may end up getting a ping flag back to pit lane if he's not careful.
Trey Martin, I think, was involved in that there in the 39 car and the 88. I believe Levi Murdoch as well. Yeah. All very close to one another, coming off of 2 there. They all got away with it somehow, but that was super close, almost 4 wide, coming off of 2 at one stage in the background there. There they are anyway in the midfield. It's the 33 car of Brodie Fisher, who's just knocking on the door of a top 10, up 9 places already, as Logan Gill now starts to put some pressure on Bailey Brannan. Gill, a popular winner last week, of course, after so much bad luck in those first 2 weeks. He finally took that win, a comeback victory at Charlotte last week. He's looking for the lead here at Kansas now as well. The 2 of the 3 race winners of the first 3 rounds of this championship going door to door here at Kansas. 1 and 2. Through they go, and Logan Gill takes the lead on lap 14.
He just snuck on by and has now got himself into a good rhythm at the front of the field, but Brannan is still right there with him in this battle of the Mustangs for the race lead. I mean, it's still very early on in this one, so they can battle all they like for the win. Neither of them's going to get it just yet. But the important thing is Nick Donati, Logan Gill's teammate, is sneaking up on them, and this may give Logan some support and trying to fend off Bailey Brannan, who looks to take back the lead off the exit of 2 as they run down the backstretch side by side.
Goodness me, this is a great battle for the lead. This is what we've been longing for this season in the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. Fantastic side-by-side racing between 2 great drivers at the front of the race. Only 15 laps into this one, but it's been a barnstormer so far. At least this green flag run has been. Brannan back to the front ahead of Gill. Now they both enter on the low side. This track's so wide. There's so much opportunity around here.
Yeah, they're able just to almost put a whole car width between them every time they're going for these moves. It's great to see. And they're not willing to give this up just yet. And it's kind of then the opposite scenario of the battle pack that's kind of behind them. They're all sort of all over the place here, Ewan. There's about 4 or 5 cars just trying to pick a lane, pick where they need to be. And they're going to have to be maybe riding on the side of caution here in terms of trying to get these positions made, because any little contact is going to see all of them very likely end up in contact and very likely end up in the wall.
Oh, that's nearly happened there in the background. That was Mike Rinker squeezing past Chris Hone. Mike has lost a couple of places, unfortunately, on this restart in the 3 cars, down to 10th. What did you say? I think it's restarted 4th, was it?
Third, yeah, 3rd or 4th, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he was on row 2 with his brother, so yeah, down to 10th, but at least he stopped the rot now. As changed for the lead again. Gill gets back past Brannan at the front of the field. As soon as we look away, it seems to change. Gill again to the front. What a great battle between these two. And the amazing thing as well, actually, is that they're pulling away from the rest of the field even while doing this.
Yeah, they're getting into this nice little bit of draft train action between them.
Right.
A bit of... They're not necessarily bump drafting their way forward, but this is great for both of them, because they're building up a hell of a lead at the moment, around about 2.3 seconds back to P3, and then even further. Oh, sorry, no, 0.7 of a second actually back to P3, but then it's 2.5 seconds back to P4. So they are starting just to build a lovely little lead for themselves, and the longer this goes green, Jim, the bigger this gap's going to get for them.
Yeah, well, it's funny you said draft train, because that's an IndyCar technique where they can't obviously bump draft in those cars. So what they do is they run behind each other and they keep swapping the lead, which sucks each other along and they go faster. And that's almost what these two are doing. I'm sure it's probably not necessarily intentional. They're just passing each other. But, it seems to be working out that way, because they are definitely pulling away. The only person that's sticking with them is Logan's teammate, Nick. And he's about to get in there enjoying that party, it looks like.
Yeah, he absolutely is. So 3 for the lead now, nearly 3 seconds back, by the way, to Charles Rinker, who's in 4th. But Donati's got a great view of this battle between Brannan and Gill, although a few attempts just put between them at the moment. At 31-1 for Brannan and for Donati last time round, by the way. That is nearly or just over half a second slower than their best lap time. So not sure how much green flag running we've had in the first 21 so far. I'll say maybe 12 or so, 12, 13 laps. Already half a second of drop-off. Tyre management going to be a big key tonight. 3 sets of tyre changes available to all drivers. That's not very many. You want to be doing roughly a quarter of the race on each set of tyres. We're about to go past that quarter of the race now, and the drop-off around a second, even in that relatively short period of time.
So I noticed
it's probably been
something.
the best display of driving we've had, Jim.
Oh, absolutely.
At the stage of the season.
So
fantastic.
The way to tell the two teammates apart, it's small, but Logan has a black wing on the back of his car, and Nick has a red wing. So
it would have been an easier selection for them of differential of colours, Jim.
Wheels,
exactly.
Yes.
Change the wheels.
Yes. Yep.
I was going to say, I wish these drivers would not do these very small things, or not knowing that we have no chance of noticing that when we're in the heat of a battle. We've got no chance. I mean, you can't even see it from the front on shot. So,
no.
Yeah, it's either change wheel colour or just change the number colour at least, because the number colour is probably. I mean, it's for the 93 car, if he has a big red number on his roof, we know it's different than the car ahead of him. So
that's true.
That's at least one feature that we can kind of notice the difference of. But they look good together, though. They're dressed up nice.
Yeah, they are nice liveries, but we just can't tell them apart. That's the only complaint. Or I'm not sure how this fits in with the logo, because I don't know. Obviously, I'm in England, but just put the discount tyre logo in black or something on one of the cars.
Or just flip the white and black on one of them. Have a black base one and have a white base one.
Yeah, but if nothing else, the roof number is a good idea for sure. Because that's big enough that you almost see that from every angle.
It's not going to matter next week, because if Logan Gill carries on how he's going, he'll just change his livery next week. So
probably he's done that every week thus far.
Yeah.
Now, why you would change your livery when you won? You know?
Well, yeah, this is true. Surely you should stick with that one that you've been running. Further back in the field at the moment, though, there is a massive scramble for position here in behind this battle pack. There's pretty much about 10 cars or so. They're in a line astern, all the way from Nick Donati back to Levi Murdoch, and they're all just scrambling for position. And relatively speaking, it's whoever can get the momentum just to try and push their way forward is going to be the big winner out of all this.
Oh, 3 wide nearly as well. Looking down the inside was William Hawker in the 90, and he has been making some places so far in this race, that is for sure. At 98, Cody Pruitt also goes through as Charles Rinker comes into the pit lane. We're only 27 laps through here, and we are getting towards halfway. In fact, we're halfway already in this first stage of the day. 45 laps for this first stage. And at the moment, Logan Gill is leading the way after that great pass on Bailey Brannan we saw not so long ago. There they are, the front 3, over 4 seconds now in front of Paul Harris, who has been one of those mooted as one to watch here tonight. It's a little bit. We'll see where he gets to by the end, but he's just bringing that gap down actually now to these guys. There's that big battle though from 4th place on back that you were talking about here. It's very, I mean, this is the best green flag run and the best bit of racing actually I think we've seen all season. It's absolutely fantastic to see as we get now towards 1/3 distance of this race already, and green flag pit stops won't be far away if it stays green.
If you're Paul Harris, do you pit now just to try and get some sort of gain over the cars ahead of you? Yeah, Rinker's coming in, so is Morrow. If you're Harris, do you come in and just take some fuel here, Ewan, just to try and jump those guys who've already pitted with tyres?
It's a difficult call. I think if you're going to do that, you need to run the tank absolutely dry, and then do the however many laps that'll be, probably less than 10. Put those laps of fuel in, and you will get a little bit of a gain. But it also, if you're going to leave it that late, you might as well, on another strategy, change all 4 tyres and then stay out at the stage break. So very hard to know what to do. Sometimes this season I think there's been some very obvious calls for these guys. This is not one of those situations in my mind.
Paul Harris is into pit road, so we'll see what the strategy is for the 91 car. Maybe he's listening to us. Maybe he heard us mention, or he could try and undercut the cars ahead of him, or just even cut down that gap that he had. Bailey Brannan as well has just been passed by Donati and Gill as they're all into pit road. So they've gone about as far as they can. And Harris is still in pit road. He is taking tyres. At the moment is the 91. I'm keeping an eye on this pit stop for him. He's taking all 4. So he's taking all 4 tyres on this stop. He's now just exiting pit road here. So we'll see how hard the push is for him. And if these guys only take right side tyres, they're about to gain massively on Paul Harris as he comes around to try and gain something against them.
I think they had such a big gap at the beginning that they're going to take all 4 here, but I could be proven wrong. It's happened before. 15 laps to go in the stage, by the way, and Donati's gone. He must have taken 2 there, and off as well goes Gill. Oh, caution! Oh, not what they needed at all. We've got drivers who have stayed out here who will be in the money. Cody Pruitt, by the way, got into pit lane just before the caution flew, and I wonder whether somebody coming into pit lane has actually spun and brought out this caution, but we'll find that out in a moment. There go the 2 teammates back out onto the circuit. There's going to be guys trapped down a lap here for the rest of the day because of this kind of thing. This is how it's happened. It is somebody slowing down for pit lane, is it? Yep, there you go. A lockup, a slide, and a driver coming to a stop on the racetrack has brought out the caution, we think, at the moment.
Ooh.
So that there is a
that's suspect.
That's very suspect. That there is.
I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose, but
I don't think he did it on purpose. But like, why were you not taking more caution coming up to the pit lane entry? I mean, why were you not?
Hey, what did you used to preach last year when you and I were doing NASCAR together? This is a perfect time.
Take caution into pit lane.
No.
It's better to make it through pit lane than through speed or make a mistake.
Practice your pit stops.
Practice your pit entry. Practice your pit entry and your pit stops. It is a massive one, but also take caution into pit lane. Because time and time again, I mean, we've seen it this season, and time again we see drivers get caught out with speeding in pit lane or unsafe entries.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're both massive.
We don't have a lot of guys that are going to get caught a lap down.
Well, let's just wait here for a second. There's a real mess on the circuit at the moment, by the way. Look at that. What is going on there? In the background, there's going to be some guys coming in from the lead lap into pit lane. So if they all do, then you're right. Nobody's going to get trapped a lap. But if one stays out, it could be trouble. Trey Gruber's stayed out, so there could be guys caught out here. Where is he in the... Who is that going slowly there? 33 on the way into pit lane.
Brody Fisher.
They out of fuel. Brody Fisher is out. Is he out of fuel?
Yeah, he's gone slightly too long. So, by the way, Trey Graber is a lap ahead of everybody else in the field.
Yeah.
So just want to see, Jim, if we can, where he is in the train and who's going to get the wave around here.
Right there. He's right there.
Right at the front. Oh my word!
So the 98 car, or whoever it is. So the cars who've just come into pit road are also a lap ahead. So Stevens, Hone, Smathers, Dickey, Rinker, Roberts. I believe it would be Cody Pruitt's ahead of the race leader, so he should get a wave around because he's at the front of the train.
Right.
And then it will be nobody else.
Yeah, well,
so all of a sudden, the top 10 are left on the lead lap. But technically as well, because Pruitt has not been passed by Graber, he's not technically a lap down.
Right.
So if he doesn't get it, it's going to be Charles Rinker in P11, who is behind the race leader.
Right. Rinker will get the lucky dog, and Pruitt will get a wave around.
Yeah.
I think the lucky dog's already been given to someone, hasn't it? Somebody's already got one. It would have been very confusing because when the caution came out, it would have been very confusing. We're never going to be able to work that out. So, somebody would have got it, but it won't be. It won't be Rinker this time. So effectively, but it's a good point to bring up here, Jim, because the fight for that lucky dog is going to be monumental.
Oh yeah.
I'd also like to point out, Jim, the car behind the race leader at the moment, Joe Dyson, has obviously tried to pull favouritism for me because he is running a Fiend delivery, which anyone who's seen me in Discord knows I have the Fiend as my Discord icon. So he's trying to pull favouritism from a commentator, it seems.
All right, wait a minute. What's going on with the 69 here? What's happening?
Yeah, he's P2.
Okay,
he's P2 in the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the way Trey was down low on the track, I wasn't sure what was happening. Wow.
Yeah.
This was for lack of a better term, this was a hell of a twist.
Yeah. So the 71 car, I think is going to get he hasn't had a rear of line penalty, but green flag running once again as we enter the restart zone.
Yeah, into the Hawkers Automotive restart zone, and we're underway again. Just 10 to go until the stage. I don't think, to be honest, this will be a very long green flag run, but let's see. Trey Gruber will take the lead here, and whether he's going to be able to make it on fuel or not, I'm not entirely sure, because those fuel runs previous were not that big. Not that long out there on the circuit. The battle for 10th place is going to be an absolutely huge one to have a look at here, because Charles Rinker is trying to get that lucky dog position, and he'll be under pressure from some of the others. There's people dropping down the field and all sorts in the background. Yeah, look at that in the background. It is all happening back there. Rinker's still got it for the moment as he comes across the racetrack. There's guys steaming through the middle here, though, on new tyres, some guys on older tyres as well. Graber, of course, will be on those old tyres himself. Donati and Gill there, though, flying through the middle. Oh, and a big slide for Donati. He's just spun in front of his teammate, has he? Have they been collective with one another? I'm not sure. He might have got away with it. He has, well, he's not taken his teammate out. They're diving left and right, trying to pass the 93 car.
Man.
Everyone is scrambling for this position here, Jim. I mean, they are battling so hard for position just to get a lucky dog to try and get their cars onto the lead lap. Because unfortunately for them now, everyone 10th and below is a lap down. And when they come into pit road on the stage break, they're still going to be a lap down unless they stay out on the road. Now, we may see the scenario here where guys like Paul Harris, Logan Gill, Bailey Brannon could just stay out under the caution just to get back onto the lead lap and then not need to worry about the lucky dog and then try and push on.
I think
only if the others stay out, by the way. Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
No, I think that's a viable strategy, what you're saying there. But if I'm one of these guys in the top 10 that just pitted, I'm staying out to keep the whole field a lap down.
Yes.
They will.
There's no way I'm pitting.
Graber is dropping positions on those older tyres. He pitted on lap 8, and he just does not have the grip at the moment in the 20 car. Oh, my God. I think he's coming into pit road.
Caution.
Yeah, Bill Dixon.
If caution goes on, which it will do,
He can't pit. He can't pit.
He has.
Oh, he crossed.
No,
He committed.
No,
That's a penalty. That's a penalty.
He had to. I think he had to because he was running out of fuel. So he'll take the penalty, but he had to commit to it.
Yeah, see, that strategy kind of blew up in his face a little bit. So what brought the caution out was Bill Dickey.
Yep. We've also found out as well, Logan Euchre has had a power outage thanks to a huge thunderstorm in his local area. So that's unfortunate for Logan. Hopefully his power comes back on and we see him back on circuit. He will be laps down, of course, but even just to continue on and try and get some points could be helpful to him as we see Bill Dickey get back on the road.
Yeah, I think. Let's see.
Lucky Dog, by the way, has already gone to Paul Harris from this restart, so we'll have 10 back on the lead lap again because we will have lost some. But Logan Gill, Tyler Miller, Nick Donati all into pit lane here. Get some fuel on board. Make sure you can go as far as you can.
Yes.
Try and get a wave around. If you're not going to get the Ducky Dog at some point, try and get a wave around, and that's the best way to do it. Get some fuel on board. They're the only 3, though, of those laps down who come in. Bill Dickey, unsurprisingly, comes in to repair the damage.
This is a very smart strategy from Gill, Miller and Donati.
Mm-hmm.
Come in under the caution, take the free stop, and stay out under the stage brake. It'll get them back onto the lead lap, and they will have fuel and tyre advantage over the field for the next, the next few laps here. So this is sound strategy for them, Ewan. This could see them back onto the lead lap for the stage start of stage 2, and might get them back into this race. But they've got to figure something out if they want to get back onto the lead lap.
So I got a question for you too. We're 5 laps, right, till the stage break. Basically 4 laps. Do you pit if you're one of those guys that pitted on lap 33? Do you pit or do you stay out and keep everybody a lap down?
Hang on, are we on the lead lap, Jim, or are we a lap down?
No, you're one of those 3 that are leading up there that pitted on lap 33.
You stay out to keep them a lap down.
I think so.
But
at least
now,
one of you got to.
But they're going to be 12 laps into their fuel run and tire run.
That's okay.
That's fine.
They're still on the lead. They're still holding off cars being on the lead lap. Now, they will obviously lose that advantage when they pit, but it puts pressure on those cars who are a lap down to try and figure out something to get them back onto the lead lap. So, if I'm Smathers, Stevens, Hone, or Roberts, I'm staying out, and I'm keeping them alive.
I agree. I'd be staying out there as well. I think also it's probably just the better strategy anyway for track position, actually. Even if this wasn't happening, I think I'd be tempted if I was one of the leaders to stay out anyway, because the track position you'd lose is quite bad. Obviously less bad because there's only 10 on the lead lap. But yeah, it's a good idea, I think, to stay out. And obviously for those guys lap down, do whatever the leaders don't do.
Exactly. Even if you're Trey Graber, he's still on the lead lap. He pitted on lap 39. He's got fresh tyres now. He has only taken 2. If you're Trey Graber, you stay out because there's no point coming in after 5 laps. So it would keep you on the lead lap, and it would hold off drivers behind you getting back onto the lead lap as well. So, these are the sorts of strategies, Ewan, that I think the drivers need to start tattooing under their eyelids, thinking about how they can play the game properly.
Well,
absolutely.
Let's
find out as they enter the Hawks Automotive restart zone with 3 laps to go until the stage. A caution ends the stage from now until lap 45, at the end of lap 45, when the first points tonight from Kansas are going to be awarded. Look at the 3 car in the background there. Mike Rinker, of those on the lead lap, is one of the fastest drivers. With all respect to the others, a lot of the drivers are up there because of strategy, not necessarily speed. And Mike Rinker, getting past Chris Hone, certainly one of those in the 3 car, outside of 3 and 4. He's now 3rd, 2 to go in the stage. Where can he get to? Can he get a stage win? Or will it be Zach Smathers who leads them over the line another time?
So a big pressure battle happening at the moment for P10. 10th and below are a lap down at the moment on the leaders, so that final stage point is available to one of those cars a lap down. And Bailey Brannon currently sits in the hot seat to get that spot, but Daniel Wing is hot on his heels, as is Charles Rinker.
And there is a lucky dog, isn't there, for a stage brake caution? Or
should be,
there would be.
yeah.
No, there would be. Yep.
So it's two-sided. That you're right. I've forgotten about the stage point itself, but the lucky dog, a big thing in that as well. 1 lap to go. This is the last lap of the first stage. Mike Rinker looking to get past Robert Stevens Jr. off of 2. In that 69 car, just has a bit of a slide. The 3 car now will pull low. He will fire it into 3 surely and try and take 9 points from this stage. Mike Rinker holds a low line down on the white line, and he should get the place. Oh, close. It's going to be a photo finish between the 2, but further up front, Zach Smathers in the 81 car wins the first stage from Kansas Speedway in a very dramatic opening to this race. The top 10 are not yet over the line. Now they are, and the caution flies. 10th place, of course, didn't actually complete 45 laps, but they are a lap down, so that's what it counts for. Bailey Brannan gets it ahead of Daniel Wing, Charles Rinker, who just missed out. Brannan, the big one there to get onto the lead lap again.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
He's got to be favourite now, surely.
Now, well, so if Trey Grabber stays out because of his pit strategy, look where he's at on the track. If he stays out and the guys in front of him pit, then you got all those guys that are a lap down that are going to be in front of him that could stay out and get the waiver out. Somebody up here has got to stay out. One of these Smathers, Rinker, one of these guys has to stay out. Well, Rinker would be the least likely because he's got the oldest tires and the least fuel of all those guys up there.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody else, but somebody needs to have the presence of mind here to understand the race situation and know that they are trapping most of the race favourites 1 lap down. Smathers might well come in because he's the leader and so takes precedence, and he will come in. Rinker, as you say, has not got much fuel on board, but he wants to trap everybody a lap down, so he stays out anyway. That's pretty smart from Zach Smathers there.
Everybody else stayed out.
He played a bit of a game of chicken, and Levi Murdoch has also come in, knowing that up in front there are already others who are trapping the guys a lap down, so now you do have the opportunity to come in without losing out too much. Trey Martin, Nick Donati and Logan Gill have come in again. Still those guys 1 lap down, not quite understanding, I don't think, at the back. Oh, they have to wait, don't they? Sorry, to come in maybe. So
yes.
Anyway, Bailey Brannan goes through onto the lead lap again, and Mike Rinker will lead. But that was a good bit of game of chicken there from Zach Smathers. He was the leader. He said, I've just won this stage. Surely one of you behind me is going to stay out, so I'll come into pit lane and use the advantage there of being the race leader. He took a risk there, Hamish, that all of them would follow him in, but it was a game of chicken that he came out the other side of well in the end, and he's got some new tyres now for this restart.
He does indeed, and that's played off well for him. It's played off well for Levi Murdoch. They're still on the lead lap, and they've got the freshest tyres of the field as well, still on that lead lap. Brannan has gotten his wave around for the lucky dog, so he's now back on the lead lap. So the top 10, well, they're the only drivers who realistically at the moment can win this race, because unless we get cautions and we get wave arounds for cars in behind them, we're only going to have 10 finishes on the lead lap of this race, so it's going to be a scramble to the end.
Well, we can't even speculate that
we would need 16 cautions for every car. 15 cautions for every car to get back on.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that at all. But the thought that this race is down to 10 guys is far from accurate at this point. I think it's we can never really determine what's going to happen over the next 50 odd laps of this race. It's anybody's game. But at this current stage, there are 10 drivers who, if the checkered flag flew right now, could win the race because they're on the lead lap. That's what I'm saying. So, currently.
There's going to be more by the end of this one, I'm sure, because there are going to be more and more cautions. And strategy could be a big thing. We could get another, massive scramble in the field again if we get a caution scenario whilst pit stops happening and we get everyone back on the lead lap from that happening. So anything can happen, and if it can happen one way, it can go the other.
By the way, there are some big risks being taken among those people a lap down. So Charles Rinker last came in on lap 26, which is already over 20 laps ago. For some reason, even though being a lap down, I don't think there's quite an understanding there from him about who's been staying out in front, and he's not been taking advantage of coming in when he should have done. He's in danger of making another green flag pit stop and dropping another lap if he's not careful. As they enter the Hawkers Automotive restart zone again, it's the restart from the front for Mike Rinker this time round. Last pitted on lap 28. gate. He's already 21 laps into this green flag run. He's going to be hoping for another caution pretty soon as he leads the field away. We'll now start to lead some laps. Further behind, Robert Stevens Jr., Chris Hone and Cody Pruitt are on top of one another. Cody Pruitt, of course, the winner of our first week at Daytona. He is looking for another big result here, and one of those who's played this race very, very well to get himself onto the lead lap and in with a big chance of winning again here at Kansas.
Well,
Hard to look past Cody Pruitt, Paul Harris and Bailey Brannon at the moment, Jim, as maybe our most likely contenders for a race win at this stage, because they've got great pace, and the fact that Gill and Donati are not on the lead lap at the moment, that puts pressure on all these other guys to really prove themselves against three of the fastest drivers in the field, as the yellow flag's thrown again.
okay, so that's why those guys stayed out right there. Daniel Wing should have pitted, according to, in theory, but he didn't. He stayed out. Yeah. He was a lap down, and now he just got his lap back. And that's exactly what Rinker and Morrow were all hoping for, to get up there to the front of that lap down pack, get a quick caution, and get back on the lead lap. Had Wing pitted, he would have been way deeper in the field, and he would not have gotten his lap back. So in the end, that was a smart strategy, and I bet you it would not surprise me at all if Rinker doesn't pit here either.
Yeah, but the risk attached with it is massive, because if that was a green flag run of even 10 or 15 laps, then he's in big trouble. So fair play to him for taking the risk and it working, because you're right, that is exactly why he stayed out on the racetrack. But on another day, that could have gone a different way for Daniel Wing. Let's see who comes in this time round, though, because there will surely be more wanting to stop now on the lead lap. But with Zach Smathers being able to trap everybody, they have a bit more freedom. Rinker stays out again, not sure about this. Chris Hone also stays out. Unsurprisingly, Smathers stays out. John Roberts, maybe a bit more surprisingly, comes in, but stays out, sorry. But Robert Stevens Jr., Cody Pruitt, Paul Harris are all into the pit lane from the lead lap alongside Bailey Brannon, who have all got the freedom to come in, basically knowing that the others are safely trapped a lap down.
Yeah, I think Rinker got caught out there. Being the leader, he didn't pit, not knowing what the right strategy was there. If I were Rinker, I'd have pitted. If
I'm Daniel Wing at the moment, I'm coming in and I'm just taking fuel to stay on the lead lap, because if he comes in and takes tyres, he would risk going back a lap down, wouldn't he, Ewan? So he wants to just take fuel.
No, not even close. No, not even close. A pit lap, caution lap takes a minute and a half around here. A full tire stop takes 25 seconds or so.
Yeah, but it's also the loss in pit lane as well, Jim. It's not just the stop time.
No,
it's the loss in pit road.
No, he wouldn't go a lap down.
Okay.
He'd be at the end of the lead lap.
Now, anyway. He's just come to a stop now.
See what he does.
He's just taking on. Well, he's right at the end of pit lane, of course. And
Logan Gill is also in pit lane. He's been in pit lane for about 50 seconds.
Good spot.
So
was he involved maybe in the caution somehow?
Either that, or he's had a penalty, because he was in there for 50 odd seconds. It's a full stop for Wing though, full set of tyres, full fuel, pushes on, and is still on the lead lap.
Not by much. I'd be nervous.
But he is, though. I mean, he's got...
Yeah. There it is. I'd be so nervous, but I would have done the same thing as David.
But that's such a NASCAR thing, though. That whole fix your car, get out right in front of the pace car. These guys are used to doing that. It's when you're working on your car during cautions, you get used to that timing of when you have to go for the pace car, especially when you're lucky enough like him to be sitting at the end of pit road. That's the perfect spot to be.
Yeah, that's. I'd be nervous about that, but there you go. That's just me. These guys know what they're doing. They've done more over racing than me. Good to say that Logan Uiker's back in the race again. He's only completed 44 laps, so he's 10 down, and he's never going to get back to the lead lap. I wouldn't expect, but he is back in the race. And as we saw from Mike Rinker last week, you can gain loads of points by just staying out there and gaining the places. Although nobody has retired from this race yet, even though we're over halfway. So it's a good start, that's for sure. Into the Hookers Automotive restart zone we go again, and Mike Rinker restarts on the front again. He's done 26 laps on this tank of fuel now, and on this set of tyres as well, although there's been plenty of caution in that time period as well. He takes the field to another green flag. As Zach Smathers and Levi Murdoch get to the second and third positions, they are going to soon be in the lead, or get close to the lead anyway, on those fresher tyres.
I think Rinker probably should have come in on that last caution there, Ewan. If we go green now for the next few laps, he's going to get caught out with a green flag stop, and he's likely going to go a lap down. So for Rinker, he needs a caution thrown. Just like his brother, he needs a caution thrown, not only to get himself stayed on the lead lap, but for his brother to get back on the lead lap as well. So if we go green here for another few laps, we might see Mike come into pit lane and end up deep in the field if he's not careful.
Look at the guys in the background. So Harris and Brannon are coming quickly with Cody Pruitt as well. They're going to be coming through like a freight train, and this front of the field is going to look a little bit more like what it did earlier on in the day, with those cast of big names up towards the front, like Brannon, who's led plenty of laps so far here tonight at Kansas. In towards 1 and 2 again. Smathers and Murdoch having a great fight, and there's contact into turn 1. The 81 car goes up the hill, slides a bit, and Pruitt goes through on the inside. Harris goes through rather on the inside. Brannon's going to follow, and well, they are going to soon be buried in this lead lap by the looks of things. Murdoch and Smathers, they are on older tyres, don't forget, only by 5 laps, but older tyres than these guys who are coming past them at the moment.
Yeah, setting the fastest lap of the race, a 30.44, so the fresh tyres are really paying dividends on board the 91 car at the moment. For Rinker, he is fingers crossed, he is hoping and praying that a caution gets thrown, because he needs that caution to remain on the lead lap so he doesn't take a green flag pit stop here. But the front runners are under pressure. Harris is making his way forward. Brannon's trying to fight his way forward. So is Pruitt. But the pressure is on these guys now of Murdoch and Smathers and even Rinker as well, that they could lose the lead pack very shortly if they're not careful. As we hit lap 59 of 100, well, we're trickling down the lap times, and we're trickling down the opportunities for Mike Rinker to get a yellow flag pit stop in this race.
Absolutely, that could be absolutely detrimental to his race, or unless there's a big run. Oh my word, that's a big slide for Levi Murdoch. He goes straight up the hill, doesn't quite find the wall, but that will be one of the easier passes that Paul Harris has to make here tonight. He slips through into second place, and surely he will be closing on Rinker and passing him pretty shortly as well for the race lead here at Kansas. Look at that, 5 cars covered by nothing at all. There's a few more actually in the background. Look at that, one long line all the way down to about 8th place or so, and then you've got those who are 1 lap down. Charles Rinker currently first of those 1 lap down. Nick Donati though is flying through the field of those 1 lap down. Rinker's going to be passed shortly, I would expect, by Nick Donati, who is on newer tyres as well as heavier fuel. You mentioned it about Rinker, but also for the likes of Charles Rinker. Quintin Morrow, another one of those, really needs a caution. Caleb Ross has had to come in under green now.
Yeah, actually, Caleb Ross in the pit lane, Jim. How's this going to work out for him?
Well, Charles Rinker is going to need a caution before his brother does, I believe, because he's 2 laps.
They're going to need it at the same time.
Within a couple of laps for sure. But Charles has got maybe a lap here, I think, before Donati disposes of him, and his shot at getting that lucky dog is going to disappear.
This is the race for the lead lap again, and Donati's strategy has turned out to be absolutely ingenious. He has played this perfectly so far, coming in under the stage caution when he knew that he couldn't get to the lucky dog in the next few laps. He knew that he'd probably run out of fuel before getting there, so he decided to take some more fuel and probably a set of tyres as well, though I didn't see his stop. He is making hard work of this, so maybe he didn't. The 7 car pulled straight for him and goes straight into the fence there on the way towards turn 1. He's under big pressure here. Here's Charles Rinker. He's got Donati behind him. Quintin Morrow and Logan Gill are not that far behind either, along with some other guys who are on different laps. But this is the race for the lucky dog, and you never know when the caution's going to be. You've got to be ahead at all times in case the caution flag flies.
Well, those tyres are crying right now, screaming to get off that 7 car, because he has got no grip
to
hold a tight line around there. He's doing great, but he does not want to grip up.
I mean, he's sliding all over the place. He done slid it up into the wall, and he's still battling back. I mean, he's doing everything he can to hang on to the last possible second. Oh, he got a big run. he got a big run, and Donati slid.
And Smathers has gone off circuit, by the way, so not sure how he's managed that. But Zach Smathers has dropped to the back end of the lead lap because he's gone off the circuit, and Bailey Brannan was slow in that shot. So I wonder whether they've come together. Oh, it is indeed Smathers and Brannan. Oh, contact as he came off the wall. Contact again. Smathers locked it up, locked it down, spun into the infield.
Oh my God! How was that not a caution?
Below the apron, I think.
Oh,
I guess, but I know.
Mike Rinker's asking the same question.
I'm
How
sure
in the
he
hell
is.
was that not a caution?
I'm sure he is.
And Charles has had to come
word.
into pit lane, so there goes his chance of getting lucky dog.
Yep, and Rinker, Mike's going to be right behind him here, a couple of laps at the most.
Yeah, we'll go back to live pictures because he's under pressure here for the race lead from Paul Harris, Cody Pruitt and Levi Murdoch. He might well lose the lead on circuit before he pits, and here he comes. He's coming down pit lane, I think now. He's missing from this camera shot, which means he must be in pit lane. Yeah, there he is. So he's into the lane. Mike Rinker comes down pit lane. He would have been screaming debris and all sorts to bring out the caution there in the last couple of moments.
Yeah,
it's not possible. But he had to come in there. He had to.
Yeah, he did. I think massive mistake not to come in under that last caution, and that's cost him now the lead lap of this race, because Nick Donati is going to get past him as soon as he exits pit lane, unless he only takes fuel.
Nah. Still,
that's the only way he could stay on, I think.
No, I don't think he could stay there even then.
Yeah. Yeah, Donati's just come past him. There goes the lead lap for Mike Rinker.
I think it's much better in any case. Even if he could have stayed in front, he'd be on so old tyres compared to Donati's new tyres that it's probably worth taking 4 anyway, even though he's going to be a bit further down. Chris Hone's into pit lane, by the way, from the lead lap as well. I think he was another one of those who might have been a bit short. John Roberts is quite short as well. He's done 35 laps now, so we're losing more and more guys from the lead lap again here. Nick Donati's going to be in 7th quite soon, which means there's only 6 on the lead lap. Obviously, we lost Smathers from unusual circumstances. That incident has taken him a long way down the field. Zach Smathers is 18th now. He's over 3 laps down on the field. There's a lot of drivers actually who are multiple laps down a long way further back. Logan looks like he might have had some more connection problems, by the way. He is back out of the server again. He looks like that's the end of his day in 26th place. We're still at 25 running though here at Kansas, and what a race we're having as well.
Yeah, I tell you, Bailey Brannan and Smathers are still running together on track. You know, they just had that incident, and they're still out there kind of running near each other again. It's kind of funny how that stuff works out sometimes.
John Roberts is down in pit road as well, off the lead lap, so that will put him a lap down on the leaders. It'll be interesting how this now plays out, because if you're, Harris, Murdoch, Pruitt, Stevens, Brannan and Wing, well, you're going to go back down a lap, and the other cars are going to be on the lead lap as soon as you come in. But once they pit, they're going to go back down a lap as well. So you're almost hoping that if you are Harris or Murdoch or Pruitt,
who was that? Someone not on the lead lap.
No.
They were right in front of the leaders. I couldn't identify the car. I don't know who that was, but they were running right in front of the leaders, and it wasn't anyone just 1 lap down. They're about to go at least 2 down, maybe more. But yeah, you're right. And by the way, those who are a lap down and these guys at the very front now will all have to come in at a similar point in about 10 laps time, if this, of course, makes it there under this green flag run. I think, that's going to be super interesting to watch as well. But Donati and Gill are certainly the ones leading of those who are about to get on the lead lap. But even then again, you've got to look out for guys like Mike Rinker. Can he come back to the very front if this goes through a whole cycle of green flag pit stops? What about the others who were nearly a lap or just 1 lap down, look in the lucky dog position? What about Charles Rinker, for example? Can he even make it to the end? I don't think so if it goes all the way green, but he might be back in a lucky dog position here, because don't forget, these guys who just pitted are all getting a huge undercut now on the new tyres.
Yeah, they are. Massive undercut scenario for those guys. Is there gonna be enough for them to get back on the lead lap? I don't think so. I think the only way that they could realistically get back on the lead lap now is if there was a caution thrown and the front runners don't come in. That's the only scenario that they could get a lap back relatively easily without a lucky dog. because otherwise, it's going to force the front runners to take a green flag pit stop. They're then going to go back down the lap, back onto your lap. So if you're Donati, Gill, Rinker, Martin, Graber, etc., you're hoping for a pace car, not just to get a lucky dog, but in the opportunity that guys like Harris, Murdoch, Stevens or Pruitt may not pit. Although then you ask the question, well, why wouldn't they pit? There's 26 laps to go. They're going to get to the end if they pit. So it's looking more and more likely here, Ewan. We're only going to have probably 6 cars finish this race on the lead lap. I mean, it's a wild scenario in how this has happened, because it was a big scrambling of the field. But that's how quickly everything can change. And if you have strategized your way to a positive position, then you could find yourself in an opportunity of taking home some solid points and possibly even a race win for yourself as well.
Especially for guys, by the way, who don't run up here very often. Again, with all due respect to some of the guys who are at the front at the moment, Robert Stevens Jr., for example, 16th in points at the moment. We'll start to look a little bit more at the cut line for the top 10, but he's 19 points below the cut. This could get him right into the top 10 at the end of the day. Levi Murdoch as well, I don't think has run up here very often this season. He's 39th in the standings coming into this race, as that was a slow car on the low side, because they're coming into pit lane. Already stopped for Paul Harris and Levi Murdoch, who seem to be splitting this last part of the race in half. They pitted with about 50 to go. There's 24 to go now. They're splitting it in half and banking on it going green. A big call.
I think at the moment it looks like that we probably are going to go green. I mean, we've had such a nice long green run. We may get one pace car by the end of the race, but I don't think we're going to get multiple. I think that the field is driving so well, and the racing has been so good from this field. I'm not getting any indication here, Ewan, that we're going to go caution fest to the end. I think we may get one as maybe cars try and push the limits on their tyres of staying out late. But aside from that, I think it's worth the risk, pitting now and hoping it stays green, because I'm not getting the indication we're going to go yellow after yellow to the end of this one.
I don't know. I do expect, actually, if there is one, there could be a downpour of
I agree.
Personally, I agree that the way they've raced so far today, by the way, has been absolutely fantastic, and that is a good sign. You might be right, but if there's one, if I've learned anything from these first 3 rounds, it's that if there is one, there's going to be multiple, especially late on in the race. So we will see, and I hope you're right on that front as well, by the way. But I don't see it for the moment. We will find out. I'm kind of hoping we don't get another caution all day.
Is that Donati?
Enjoying this long green flag run. This is absolutely fantastic. Donati comes into pit lane. He's just in behind Logan Gill, by the way, who's also into pit lane. Oh no, that wasn't Gill. Sorry, that was somebody else. Donati is in though.
Someone else.
So Donati was he was sitting there in the lucky dog spot and couldn't hold it. Now Logan Gill's in the lucky dog spot.
Well, Pruitt, Wing are in pit road as well. Stevens has stayed out.
Well, Pruitt's still on track.
Yep.
Is he? Oh,
that's him right there.
I had him selected. It claimed that he was in, but he's not. So Wing's in. The timing must be lying to us. If you're Pruitt and Stevens, 2 on the lead lap. If you're Pruitt and Stevens and a caution is thrown, you are laughing, because you can come in under yellow flag, take your pit stop. How many others are going to end up back on the lead lap? Rinker came in on 66. How long could they go again, Ewan, on their tank of fuel? Was
32 at most, but if there's cautions, I think Mike Rinker's going to make it all the way home. It would just be tyres where he'll get eaten alive.
Yeah, risky
and here
game.
come the leaders. Here come the leaders.
Yep. So Rinker
they couldn't do it.
Rinker's back in the lead of the race.
He is.
He'll be back on the lead lap.
No, he's going to be in the lead of the race.
He has to pass them again.
Yeah, but they're running 30-second laps. He's going to pass them.
I know he's going to pass them, but he's only just passed them to get back on the lead lap. I'm following him now. I'm going to see if he's actually going to take the lead of the race. But he's not, because Murdoch's actually just got past him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Murdoch's going to take the lead. They're actually in a fight for what will become the lead, but Mike's on on 10 lap older tyres than Murdoch, and I think Mike actually might be trying to save fuel to make it all the way back. They're already rolling as well, Robert Stevens Jr. and Cody Pruitt. They'll be a little bit concerned about fuel, some of these guys who pitted around lap 66, 67. Out of the pit lane now come those other two. Pruitt passes Robert Stevens Jr. on the exit. He might have had it as he gone off somewhere, he might have done. Robert Stevens Jr. is plummeting through the field for some reason. Cody Pruitt not quite as much, but he is obviously a little bit as they get up to speed again. Murdoch on the outside is going to take this lead. Chris Hone is in second. Paul Harris is then third. Not sure whether Hone can make it to the end of the race. Same for Mike Rinker as well. Same goes for Charles Rinker, Quentin Morrow and Zach Smathers. But all the others, I'd be confident they can make it to the end of the race.
Man, Levi Murdoch, man, he's been running strong all night, but his pit strategy right there, he pitted at just the right time to come out here, and now he's got almost a 2-second lead.
Yeah, but if there's one caution, that will eat that lead alive, and he'll have Paul Harris and Chris Hone on his heels. If there is a caution, Hone probably could stay out and make it to the end because he'd only need to save a lap of fuel to get to the end of the race. So he's going to be under pressure. He has got, though, 9-lap newer tyres, does Murdoch, as does Harris, who's just got the job done on Hone. Or it could be a tasty fight to the end. We could be in for a special one here at Kansas.
It's going to be a special finish to this race, that is for sure. Murdoch, by the way, I'll just reiterate what I was trying to say before these pit stops all kicked off. Murdoch tied 39th going into this race on just 12 points after the race so far this season. Admittedly, has only been at one of those. Only raced Nashville, so that's why he is so far down. But for so many drivers who are a long way down the field, this is a huge opportunity. And we've been mentioning it all season. We'll start to mention it a little bit more as we get closer. 5 rounds to go, including this one, until the top 10 are selected from the point standings to go into the playoffs. It's almost like an old-fashioned chase for the Cup Series, if you like, at the end of the season. 3 races at the end, rather than the championship finale 1 race you have in real life these days. 3 races at the end, contested just not by race winners, but by top 10 in points. Now, at the moment, they are just race winners, top 10 in points. All 3 of them are there, 1, 2, 3. But this is so massive for those outside the top 10 right now who are going to vault into it at the end of today. It's going to put the point standings on their head.
Have they gotten rid of the playoff system in NASCAR now?
Well, there's a pit
Based on what
stop.
you're saying?
I think people just want them to.
Yeah.
I don't think they've got rid of it.
No.
I mean, I don't mind it. It keeps the championship close to the end, and I think it's, it's something different to, because oftentimes we get in motorsport, we get to, rounds to go, and someone's already won the title, and it makes the last few races kind of pointless. If you're trying to win a championship, but I don't mind the playoff system. It keeps the fight keeps the fight interesting. It keeps drivers at an opportunity at a championship as well. I think it's great.
A couple of things I don't like about it is the win you're in situation. I think it should probably go.
No, I think it should be top 10 in points. I think that's what it should be.
Yeah. I think it should be very similar to what we've done here, actually, which is top 10 in points. Don't bother out who's won race. I know they want to make the win very important, but I think having 5 or 6 more points for a win compared to the next positions is good enough to make wins important. And then, second of all, not 1 race at the very end for the final stage of the playoffs. I would have 3 or something like what we've got here, or go back to the old playoff system when it was first introduced, with last 10 races being contested amongst the top 10 in points. That's how I would do it. I would pretty much replicate this system, but unfortunately in real life they don't quite do that. Looking forward to this though at the end of the season. Las Vegas, Talladega, Homestead to decide the title among the top 10 in points from the first 9 rounds. Sorry, not 9 rounds. 7 rounds rather. No, 8. I can't count. 8 rounds in the regular season before the final 3, which are playoff rounds.
Well, as we have 11 laps to go, it's looking less and less likely that a yellow is going to be thrown. Is it going to be the first race of the season that we don't go into overtime, Ewan? I mean, it's definitely feeling that way. It's feeling like we're going to go green flag to the end here.
It kind of is. I didn't actually. I should have kept count of how many cautions like I have been doing over the course of the season, but haven't been doing it so much tonight. But you said earlier on we've been averaging about 9 laps for every caution. That's not an average green flag run of 9 laps, by the way. That's every 9 laps of a race there has been a caution thrown, which is realistically average about 5 green flag laps per time. This has been much better though. I would say by far the best race of the season here. Long green flag runs, green flag pit stops being taken on for the first time this season properly, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable. Not over yet, still 10 to go. Levi Murdoch though is going to be praying that there are no more cautions and that you're correct in that there's not going to be another one to the finish here.
Yeah, he wants it to be green flag to the end because he doesn't want to get challenged by Harris, Pruitt and Stevens Jr., knowing that Pruitt and Harris have got such good pace, and been impressed by Robert Stevens' pace as well. The fact that he has managed to hang on to these guys all night has been good to see. But for Murdoch, he wants to hold out that lead. 9 laps to go. If there is a caution thrown, well, there could be a late dash into pit road just to take fresh tyres and see where you end up. But it's going to be a risky game. We'll see who plays it.
If there is a late caution thrown, look right now would be the lucky dog. Although wouldn't that be something? Some kind of crazy, ridiculous. Oh, I don't think it's going to be a problem. But that was certainly scary.
That was Robert Stevens Jr. shoulder barging someone into the fence. Although they were a lap down, so he'll get away with that, and I don't think that lap down driver will be too annoyed because he's already quite a way away from the front.
I've just noticed Williams' chat log here in the live chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He called risky call lady when he came to pit lane, and then he corrected himself to genius pit.
Well, no, he was right. It was risky when he pitted. If a caution would have came out, it would have bit him in the ass. But it didn't. It worked out, and now he's out there with almost a 3.5-second lead with 6 laps to go in this race. My concern is that somebody's going to start racing ridiculously hard here and bring out a caution. And what's really concerning is I don't want to see it be a car that's a lap down who wrecks into a lead lap car trying to overdrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one thing if one of these lead lap cars wrecks into each other going hard. That's one thing. But to see like a Logan Gill or a Donati get involved in something, that would not be cool.
No, we don't want to see that, certainly. But Logan Gill is in the background of this shot right now, and he does have justification for actually trying to get past these guys. As Chris Hone can't make it, he has to come into pit lane. The justification is, by the way, that John Roberts is about to go a lap down in 9th. So Logan Gill would not become the lucky, or he would get that lucky dog taken away. Oh. So he's got to try and move through past these guys. He's clearly quicker, but how does he do this without causing a scene? Robert Stevens Jr. gets down the inside of Paul Harris, who slips out the top 3. Gill also slips through. 4 to go, If there's a caution, Gill would no longer be the lucky dog in a couple of moments. Mike Brinker is now very close to being lapped here as he's coasting, trying to make it all the way home. There is Rinker. He's now a lap down. Logan Gill no longer the lucky dog with 4 to go.
Which also it gives plenty of justification for him racing super hard. You know, I mean, although it's looking good here. Oh, golly, somebody got squirrely. I think that was Gill.
Yeah, and Stevens as well, coming past one of the lap cars. We're focusing in on Cody Pruitt. He's only 2.5 seconds away, by the way, from Levi Murdoch, but the traffic has been very, very thick here, and it's going to continue to be right the way to the end. 2 to go, and unless Murdoch loses a second a lap, then he'll be okay. He's pitted 24 laps from the finish. He won't need to be worried about fuel. He'll be slightly concerned about his tyre life because he is losing time to Pruitt and Stevens at quite a rate of knots. Got 2 seconds with 2 to go here from Kansas.
I think he's doing that on purpose. I think he's slowed up just enough to make sure he's not going to oversend it here or something. I think he knows exactly where he's at, which we'll come back. I'm going to watch this a little more back here. We'll come back and get him as he comes around. Although these guys have kind of spread out, you know, they were really close.
Yeah, a little bit. Robert Stevens Jr. trying to close in on Cody Pruitt as they come towards the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Blue Line Technologies. It is a brilliant drive from Levi Murdoch. As you probably rightly say, Jim, is just toning this one back towards the end. He doesn't want to take any risks at all. qualified in 11th position, strategized his way through this race absolutely perfectly in by far the best race we've seen so far in the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship this season. Off at 4 here at Kansas Speedway. It's going to be Levi Murdoch who takes a famous victory in round 4. He wins here in Kansas by just under 2 seconds ahead of Cody Pruitt and Robert Stevens Jr., a big driver in the top 3 as well, who will come rocketing up the standings from 16th in points at the start of the day. But today is about the 88 car. Levi Murdoch with a brilliant strategy to win the race at Kansas.
Yeah, what a
race it was.
Man, what a race. That's good stuff there.
That was incredible. A fantastic race. Ironically, Paul Harris, Bailey Brannon finished the race where they started. So even after all that scrambling, even after all that shake-up of the field, there was at least 2 cars who stayed where they started. So, but for Murdoch, that there is an incredible victory for the 88 car. Massive points haul. And after his blunder coming into pit lane earlier on in the race, who would have thought he could have won the whole thing?
Unbelievable. Starts the day 63 points below the cut line, by the way, so he's unless he does attend all the races, he's not going to stand much of a chance of getting in the playoffs. But my goodness, what a race victory that is for him. He can celebrate with some donuts, and why not as well. That is a fantastic drive from the 88 car. There he goes.
Tell you
again.
what, let's do the run this commercial real quick, and then we'll come back and run through the results and do some interviews.
When it's midnight, keeping it tight. If people wanna go to war, it can get dark, but we stay bright. Coming like a knight, it's on sight. If I touch my sleeve, they wanna disagree when it's clear that I'm speaking facts. Man like me, you know I'm proactive. Never gonna stop till I see the big man's on flats.
Hop on the front door, it's like midnight. Don't lose your grip, cause you might fall out again. Off-white whip, need for speed. I'm not switching the lane. Pick up the pace, bro, like that.
Well, welcome back to Kansas, where Levi Murdoch has taken a famous victory with a brilliant strategy here tonight in round 4 of the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. Let's have a look at the race results from race 4. And it will show, of course, Levi Murdoch, 1.3 seconds the winner at the end. We'll chat to him in a sec, as we will with Cody Pruitt and Robert Stevens Jr., who get in the top 3. As Hamish mentioned, Paul Harris and Bailey Brannon, the only drivers to finish where they started in all the madness, 4th and 5th. Daniel Wing, the last driver on the lead lap. John Roberts, as I said, dropped off the lead lap right at the end. Logan Gill on that alternate strategy did best of the rest, ahead of Mike Rinker, who really had to save fuel to make it all the way home. Then Nick Donati rounds out the top 10. Trey Martin was also a lap down with Trey Graber. Bill Dickey, the second, even after his crash on the back stretch, finished 13th. Good result from him in the end. Charles Rinkin needed an extra stop towards the end, so dropped to 14th. I think the same for Quinton Morrow. Brody Fisher was 3 down with Zach Smathers and William Hawker. Chris Hone and Joe Dyson rounded out the top 20. Hone was running on the lead lap until quite late on. Finished 5 down though, as did Shane Johnson. B Strong was 22nd, 6 down with Tyler Miller, with Jamie Violette in 24th, and if Caleb Ross, who was many laps down. He pulled into the pit lane late on because he knew he wasn't going to get any more places, but he knew he couldn't finish below Loden Urker, who did get back out in the end to finish, but only 24th, as all 26 drivers who started got to the finish. Devon Trusty practiced but didn't race. Let's have a chat to Levi Murdoch, our race winner here tonight from Kansas. Levi, welcome into the broadcast booth. Congratulations on the win tonight. Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh, I feel amazing. Get the first win of the year. I had a fast hot rod, and I just want to apologize for that ordeal. I did not do that on purpose, and I kind of feel bad for everybody.
Let's chat a little bit about your strategy for this race. There were so many options, so few cautions this time, which made the options a little bit more open in some ways. Tell us what you were thinking at the stage break, at the various cautions when they were coming out, and how you got yourself through this race, got yourself into this position.
Well, I knew in practice I had a really good long run car, and I knew if I made it where it went green, that I was going to have a chance, and that if I basically pit long and and I can make it work.
Oh, congratulations on winning here tonight, Levi. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anything before we let you go?
I'd like to shout out my girlfriend and my son and my family for
absolutely. Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, Levi, and congratulations again on the win tonight.
Thank you for the broadcast too. It was amazing.
Thanks very much.
Man, he's lucky he finished that way. His internet was cutting out there.
I know, yeah.
Man, that would have sucked.
Maybe it's just his microphone, but yeah, that didn't sound particularly clean there. But anyway, great that he got to the end nevertheless. Cody Pruitt is a second place driver. Chat to him as well. Cody, congratulations on a second place finish. Another really strong finish for you actually here tonight, making Charlotte last week looking more and more like an outlier in your season. Tell us how you're feeling at the end of that one.
Feeling good. We ran the fuel down, did all my changes on my tire changes on fuel. It seemed to work out pretty well. I had some newer tires than a few guys out there and got around them pretty quickly. Man, it was exciting. That was a fun race.
Tell us how you're feeling at the end of 4 rounds of this championship season as well. It's obviously weird of always in a playoff season where you've got 3 races at the end, sort of almost have to go again. But how are you getting on with getting up for all of these regular season races now that you're edging yourself already towards a guaranteed top 10 position? But obviously, the higher you finish in the regular season, the more points you carry through to the playoffs. How are you sort of getting up for each of these rounds with still 4 to go until the real stuff begins, I guess, for a driver like you going for the championship in those final 3 races?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay consistent and get out there and practice and Charlotte was a bad race for me. I really wanted to come back and get a good finish and looking forward to Red Bull Ring and I think I can do decent there. Just trying to stay consistent all season.
Well, congratulations on another second place finish here tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah. Hey, Jesse James, I beat your favorite driver.
Nice. Okay, thanks very much, Cody. Congratulations again, and thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thanks very much. Cody Pruitt there, second place here tonight. Don't know what that's about, but there'll be an inside joke there somewhere.
Well, Denny Hamlin one time said, he screamed out to the fans, "I beat your favorite driver," and the announcer goes, "Who's that?" And he goes, "All of them."
Nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, he beat all of them but one.
Yes.
Robert Stevens Jr. Finished in 3rd place, and we can chat to him as well. Robert, welcome in, and congratulations on a 3rd place finish here after qualifying 15th, right in the midfield. You get yourself into the top 3. Just tell us how you managed to do that through the multiple cautions and the green flag stops and everything that we had here tonight.
I lucked out. I was trying to stay out and run my tank as low as I could. So I was about ready to pit in when that first caution happened, and it just, unfortunately, it happened to screw over most of the field to where they had already green flag pitted and were a lap or 2 down. So that kept me pretty much out front the entire race, and I just kept working at it, trying to stay as fast as I could the rest of the race.
Tell us how realistically you think it is for you to get in the top 10 and be a playoff driver in 4 weeks' time, because you're 19 points below the cut line going into today. This will help a lot, of course. How realistic is it? How much of a target is it that you can get there?
I definitely think it's feasible. I'm not the fastest driver. They're not in my mind. I'm not, but I feel like I'm decently fast. This is my 2nd, 3rd place finish. Kind of like Cody and Charlotte. I kind of had a bad Charlotte race, but I mean, I'll take 2 top 3s out of the 3 races that I've raced. So I feel like I should have a pretty decent shot at getting up there in points and being able to make it to the playoffs.
Absolutely, you'll certainly be closer after tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Nobody right offhand, other than my boy Cody, who finished 2nd. We're co-workers. We race together all the time. I just I just want to get in front of him before the end of the season, one of these races, and not finish behind him like I keep finishing behind him.
I couldn't help but notice you're from the same place as we as we look at the
Yep.
graphics on the screen. There we go. That explains that one. Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us once again, Robert, and thanks. Congratulations, rather, on a third place finish tonight.
Thank you.
That's Robert Stevens Jr. Third place here tonight in the Autism Awareness 150. Is Trey gonna? Are we allowed to grab him for a chat as well?
Yeah, if he's in there.
Mind the pun. He's in there, so
He didn't finish in the top 3, though. No, yeah, you can bring him in.
That's the requirements for an interview at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No, we'll try him and see. Trey, are you up for a quick chat after the race?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me turn this top 3 thing off for the interview because he didn't qualify for that.
That's fine.
No, not quite. 12th place though, and 7 up on where you started. Tell us how you got through today, because actually we didn't see very much of you today, I've got to say. But good finish compared to where you qualified. Tell us how you got through the day.
Yeah, just silent assassin, right? Just kind of stayed back. Had some pit strategy. I think I pitted right at the start of the race because I had a little bit of damage, so I repaired that and took some fuel, and that kind of put me off strategy. So when a lot of the leaders were pitting, I gained my lap back, and then the caution fell at the perfect time and trapped a lot of cars lap down. And then I kind of lost control coming out of, I think, 4 and hit the wall and meatballed my car. And when I went into the pits, I went past my pit box and then backed up behind my pit box and just couldn't figure out how to pit the car. So it put me back a lap down, and strategy just didn't work out after that. But it was a fun race. Proud of the guys. Proud of Levi. I'm from the same hometown as Levi, so proud to see small town Southern Indiana represented there. He's been a great addition to this league and a great help in practice and stuff like that. So proud of him. Proud of all the guys tonight. We had a little bit of a mix up at the very beginning of the race. I was kind of glad I wasn't pulled up into the broadcast during that moment. I forgot to set my auto stages correctly. So when I opened up auto stages, it said, okay, we're going to make a caution at lap 1. So as soon as 10th place crossed the finish line on lap 1, it threw the caution.
We were wondering why there was a caution there.
Yeah, so it was a fun chat. We do an incident report, and a lot of people's like, we're going to file an incident report on the owner of the league. And I'm like, please do. I deserve that penalty. I deserve that party foul. But yeah, after that, it kind of set the tone. A lot of us were like, great, we're going to have a caution fest. We still had plenty of them, but I think we kept it clean for the most part, which was great. We all had a lot of fun tonight. That was the main thing. We all had fun. We were all able to communicate with each other on a lot of things, and just kind of, it was a fun race, a refreshing fun race for tonight. So I'm proud of everybody for that. Right. It's been a hard week. I've been gone all week at church camp dealing with middle school boys. So it's been nice to see my admin step up this week and take charge and take ownership of things and be able to do things and prove to me that when I'm gone, things can still run according to schedule, and I don't have to worry about that ever again. So proud of my admins. Want to give them a shout out for sure. They worked really hard this week to keep everything rolling. So
I got a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot based on a conversation that we had earlier today for clarification. Last week, there was a situation where the caution came out with about 2 laps before the stage officially would have ended. And we on the broadcast said that a couple of guys pitted and they gave up their points for the stage because they pitted before the actual lap, whatever it was, 50, that was the stage break or whatever. And apparently, can you clarify what was done about that and what will happen in the future regarding that?
Yeah, so as long as the owner of the league doesn't mess up and not set auto stages correctly, as long as he does his job, we are going to follow what auto stage is correct. One of the things we mentioned in the drivers' meeting beforehand was if a caution comes out before the stage break, you must finish the lap that the stage was set to finish. So tonight, for example, was lap 45. So the rule was set, if you pit before lap 45, you are giving up your points. So from now on, we're going to follow that rule, that even though auto stages essentially ends the stage early, points are not awarded until the 10th place car crosses that finish line for that lap that ends the stage in a normal situation. So if it's lap 45 or whatever, right?
Right.
So tonight we went off of lap 45 because we actually made it to lap 45. As soon as the 10th place car crossed the start finish line, we threw the caution. We awarded points based on that lap, and just kind of went from there. Because I believe tonight we also had an issue where we went green with like maybe 2 or 3 laps before the end of the stage. So we were prepped and ready to go. Everybody was aware of that rule change, and from now moving forward, whatever auto stages says is the position order, then that's what we're going to run with. So,
all right. Now, I just wanted to clarify that because you and I had that conversation earlier, and what we said on the broadcast last week was exactly that. But since there was a misunderstanding, points were awarded differently for last week, but that has officially changed now, and it will be exactly what you just said from now on.
Correct. The reason we awarded points last week that way is because I might have came over the radio and said, okay, the stage is over, because that's what auto stages says. And that was, I guess, too ambiguous that some people were confused and thought, okay, stage is over, we're awarding points now, everybody's free to pit. So we clarified that this week during the meetings that we had, and said from now on, stage ends at the lap that it's supposed to end, even if a caution comes out, and points will be awarded at the end of that lap. So everybody's in agreement now, and I'm thankful that you guys, the broadcast team, are willing to work through that with us and talk through that with us and clarify all that. So appreciate you guys with that.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And but anyway, that's it. I just wanted to clarify that situation in case there was anybody that was confused about that.
Absolutely. Yep. No worries. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Trey, before we let you go? Anyone shout out or anything like that?
Yeah, like I said, I mentioned my admins earlier. Huge shout out to Jesse James, one of the admins. He couldn't make it tonight. He's at work, but I know he's sitting there watching at work, and he's excited. Huge shout out to him. He took kind of the brunt of everything this week while I was gone. Huge shout out to our sponsors, Blue Line Technologies, Skylark AV, and a massive shout out to Hawkers Automotive this week for taking, kind of picking up the Restart Zone sponsorship. So huge shout out to them. Love getting to meet William Hawker and kind of hearing the story of his dad and the excitement of his dad. So shout out to Pops Hawker there. And shout out to you guys for sticking through this season with us. We got a couple more races to go in this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what happens at Hamish's favorite track next week, Red Bull Ring. So
it's gonna be an absolute barn burner, Trey. It's gonna be amazing.
We're thinking about calling it the Monster Energy 150 at the Red Bull Ring, just to kind of goof off with everybody. But yeah, no. I also want to shout out my 6-year-old. I don't know if I mean, it's probably been noticed now. My car tonight was the autism car. He helped me design that car. My 6-year-old did. He was diagnosed with autism before Christmas last year. And he came to me and said, "Daddy, I want to sponsor the race, and you got to use your money to pay for it." So, huge shout out to him. He's smart-headed 6-year-old.
Absolute autism thought process right there, Trey. As an autism myself, just I'll sponsor it, but you got to pay for it.
Well, Hamish was 100% sure that you were driving that car and named this race after him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hamish. I didn't. My son's name's on the driver plate. But we found out in that process. We have a lot of guys in this league that are on the autism spectrum, and it's just been great getting to know them and kind of learning each other and our quirks and our intricacies of things. So yeah, it was definitely something we wanted to do at some point. And when we saw that Kansas was open, I know, Jim, I told you we didn't have a sponsor. We decided that at probably 4:30 this afternoon that we were going to name it that. So apologies there. I'll make sure we have a name sooner for the next races, but definitely something. He came up to me and goes, "Daddy, can we name it after my autism?" And I was like, "Sure, buddy, let's do that." And he's like, "Okay, you're paying for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, I'll pay for it. I don't care." So I love that kid to death. Shout out to him. He should be in bed. He's probably not in bed. I'm sure he's probably out there listening to me talk about him right now. But shout out to my wife too. She's went all week without me at home, and I come home and
the best week of her life. Are you kidding me?
I got 4 kids at home. I don't think it was the best week of her life. There was 0 free time for her. So shout out to her. She's been great through this whole process of me wanting to sim rig and being able to race and be on with the guys. And I know I kind of take her off sometimes, but I love her. I love her to death. So, yeah, like I said, shout out to all of our sponsors. Shout out to our admins this week for stepping up and telling me, hey, step aside. We've got it. I don't like being told that sometimes, but I need to be told that this week because middle school camp with middle school boys is challenging. So I appreciate everybody in this league. I really do. It wouldn't be as fun and entertaining and great racing without all the guys in the league that we have. So props to them.
All right, man. Well,
thanks very much for chatting to us, Troy. It's been great to have you at the end of the broadcast as always, and I'm sure we'll see you again next week at the Red Bull Ring.
Will do.
Thanks very much, Troy Grover there, the 12th place driver tonight, but more importantly, chatting about the race and all the other things to do with the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. Got to say, Hamish, that was the best round this season by some distance here at Kansas. Thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Yeah, not even close. That was probably the best race we've seen from these guys, the best driving we've seen from them as well. And I think, yeah, definitely something that these drivers can be proud of tonight for their efforts because they drove an incredible race. I'm hopeful for next week at the Red Bull Ring that we're going to be in for a good race as well. Obviously, though, it could be caution filled once again. We don't know. It's the Red Bull Ring. It goes one of two ways. You either have a lot of safety cars or you have none. And I'm not going to put myself on the side of caution and say we're going to have none. I think we're going to have quite a few, but we'll see how they go when they go road course racing.
Absolutely. Road course racing next week, Jim. It's going to be a very, very different feel to what we've had in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Supposedly, a lot of these guys come from a road racing background, so maybe that's potentially why they were struggling a little bit in the beginning with getting acclimated to oval racing. Apparently, a lot of these guys come from an IMSA sports car type background on iRacing. So we'll see. It could be a whole lot of fun if that's the case, you know.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of fun to watch next week, that's for sure. So last week, before our little break, before Atlanta in the second half of the season, the mid-season break, make sure you join us again. Same time, same place in 7 days' time as we not only change type of circuit, but also change continent. The Red Bull Ring on the 9th of August. We'll be back with that in 7 days' time, as I say, here in the I2I Motorsports Xfinity Championship. I've been Neil O'Leary alongside Hamish Monroe with Jim Cunningham here tonight, and we will see you again in 1 week's time at the Red Bull Ring. Goodbye for now.